And I want you to write on the top, or continue on right from where you left off with your area stuff from last week. So we're going to review a few of the area formulas. First of all, the area of a rectangle. Area equals base times height. All formulas come from that one. So if we look at this, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 here, and 3 going up. So 7 times 3 is 21 units squared. Parallelogram, if you remember, is just like a rectangle. Again, area equals base times height. So if I take this little triangle, if you remember when we moved it over to here, we really just have a rectangle. But now I have to get my base is 6. Height is not the 3.5. Height is 1, 2, 3, 4. It has to make that 90-degree angle. So my height is 4, which is 24 units squared. Triangles, if you remember, are the pretty cool ones. If I take this triangle and I double it and I rotate it, I basically have just created myself a parallelogram. We know the area of a parallelogram is area equals base times height. Well, my base on this one is 5.5. My height, is it the 3.5 or the 4? Remember, it's the 4 because it has to make the 90-degree angle. Now, I don't have a whole parallelogram, I have a half. So I can either divide this all by 2 or do a half. So the formula for a triangle is actually area equals 1/2 of the base times the height. So I'm going to take off the divide by 2. So I'm going to do a half of 4, because you can multiply in any order, which is 2 times 5.5. 2 times 5.5 is 11 units squared. This will work for any kind of a triangle. You just double it, and if you rotate it, you will get another parallelogram. So again, area of a triangle is 1/2 base. Okay, so let's continue. Trapezoids. Trapezoids are awesome shapes. Remember, they are the triangle with the top cut off. So let's try to figure out a formula for it. Again, if I start with the basic idea of base times height. Well, if I take this one, I have a base here and a top up here, and my height would make my 90-degree angle. So base, I actually have a second base here, and right through here, I create my 90-degree angle. Watch what happens when I clone this, or double it, and rotate it. I have just made myself another parallelogram. The only difference now is my base becomes this base, which is my bottom, or base 1, and this base, which was my top, or base 2. And that's how I have to create them. I have to add those two together to get my full base. So the base is base 1 plus base 2. The height stays the same, which is over here, which is right here. And again, I don't have a whole parallelogram. I have a half of one. So it'd be 1/2 base 1 plus base 2 times my height. So write down that formula and let's try an example of a trapezoid. So I want you to try this trapezoid. Again, you have your formula. You always start with your formula. Area equals 1/2 base 1 plus base 2 times my height. So it'd be a good chance to pause it and let everyone work. Let's see how we did. Bring down my 1/2. Base 1, 8 centimeters, plus base 2 is 4 centimeters. My height is also 4 centimeters. So base 1 plus base 2 is 12 times 4 times 1/2, or divide by 2. Again, I can go left to right. I can do these two. I can do it any order I want. So 1/2 of 12 is 6 times 4, which is 24 centimeters squared. So that is a trapezoid. Next one I want to look at is a kite. A kite is it's a cool shape. Remember again, a kite. The diagonals make a 90-degree angle. So right here, where the diagonal, the blue diagonal and the green diagonal, you get a 90-degree angle. So let's watch what happens. So we don't have a base times height. We're going to start with that same idea though, area equals base times height. Let's watch what happens here. When I take each of these and rotate them, watch what is happening to the blue and the green. So now I've just created a base and a height. My base is now this green. So that was the diagonal that was through the middle. So I have one of my diagonals, it doesn't matter which one, became the base. The other diagonal became the height in blue. Now, I don't have a full kite here. If you notice, when I rotate them, it left this part void. It's gone. I actually have 1/2 of a kite, or divide that kite by 2. And there is the area of a kite. Try finding the area of the kite to the right. Again, I start with my formula. Area equals diagonal 1 times diagonal 2, divide by 2. Diagonal 1 is 4, times diagonal 2 is 6, divide by 2. 4 times 6 is 24, divide by 2 is 12 centimeters squared. So the kite is 12 centimeters squared. Last shape is the rhombus. Rhombuses are unique because if they give the base and the height, it's just area equals base times height, because it looks just like a parallelogram. And that's the way we are going to look at them. However, if they don't give a base and a height, and in a parallelogram or in a rhombus, if they give the diagonals, then you could use the kite formula, which again was diagonal 1 times diagonal 2 divided by 2. For the sake of us, we are going to use the parallelogram formula for this, which is base times height. So in this case, it's just 3 times 4, which is 12 centimeters squared. All right, so you have a worksheet to work on today. And if you finish, you can go into Study Island under Geometry and start area of a quadrilateral.